South Portland is a busy crossroad at the moment. On one end, an up-and-coming artist is trying to launch his career and buy a condo out of state, while on the other end, an engineer is trying to establish himself here in Maine.
I grew up in a bamboo hut, whenever we were staying with my mom's family. No lights, like everything was candles. You had to pump your water from the ground.
Jay was raised in the Philippines and now operates a recording studio in South Portland called Penumbra. The studio attracts artists from across southern Maine, including Dylan Raw, who's fortunate enough to have grown up right down the street.
For a Sopo kid, for me to find Jay right on Broadway, it was just kind of like, perfect location right near the main road, rap recording studio right down the street.
Yeah.
Rest is history, baby.
The two have recorded dozens of tracks together since 2014. The chemistry works so well, Dylan says, because Jay is selfless.
Jay is 100% egoless, which I'm not 100% egoless. So when the best way for me to work straight up is if I'm in a creative space, I need to be able to this is going to sound crazy, but I need to be able to be like, yo, don't do that. And have the engineer not take any type of negative shade in their mind or take any emotion, to understand that I'm just trying to do it right.
Jay says having a desire to satisfy artists is basically part of the job requirements.
I always joke around whenever I have interns. They ask what's the important quality to have as an audio engineer, and I always say you have to have a crippling need to please people.
Recently, Jay stepped out of his comfort zone and recorded a metal band for the first time.
I don't listen to metal, never recorded metal, but the shit came out good. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right, I can record metal now.
As for the hip-hop artists that come through Penumbra, South Portland rapper Lil Earl was a regular at the studio before his tragic death in February. Jay and Dylan agree that Earl was a very special person and a natural at rapping.
He was somebody who you could call at 3 in the morning and talk him into going out and getting breakfast with you at Denny's, or he'd be like, no, I'm in bed. He'd be like, bro, let's go. You're coming with me, bro. He'd be like, oh, all right, fine, pull up. You know what I mean? Creatively, a different animal, one of the best freestylers you'll ever meet. Artistically, his own thing. Couldn't be persuaded by anybody else. And just a really special person to me. I know, Jay feels the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
In honor of his friend, Dylan got a tattoo on his arm that says Lil Earl forever.
He used to like the Jason mask a lot. He's got his little joint right there. And he loved photography. This is his little camera bag right there. So, just had to honor the homie real quick, man. Straight up, I always feel like if he was here, he wouldn't want anyone to be sad or be mourning anything. He would just want to be remembered as a legend.
Earl is not the only local artist Dylan has great respect for. In 2018, he recorded a handful of songs with J-Star Hefner at Penumbra. Jay was amazed by how fast the two could pump out tracks.
To see two guys as talented as that just attack a song and then come out with something that sounds amazing, it blew my mind.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And he I straight up told him, man, he is probably the most that I could feel I could get in the studio and feel pushed. And feel all right, I gotta go toe to toe with somebody, you know what I mean?
Though Dylan can record tracks within minutes, he started to slow down the rate at which he releases music. In March, he put out his first song in nearly 7 months. He says his focus is now on the quality.
These days, I put a lot of time into my music and making sure that all my I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everything is mastered and perfected to a certain level. I'm really into quality over quantity, especially these days. If you've been following my career, I've put out hundreds of songs on SoundCloud and tons of mixtapes on DatPiff and stuff like that. So I think the fact that I'm slowing down now and the content I'm putting out, I think my fans are appreciating it a little bit more.
Likewise, Jay is committed to making the best music possible. He went years working 7 days a week, both as an audio engineer and as a chef. He says working tirelessly is worth it if it benefits the local music scene.
I'm all about building a community, building a scene, so I'll work myself to the bone to help build.
Dylan applauds Jay's work ethic and his affordability.
He does a lot of it strictly for the culture, man. He's really given back to the local music scene. When it's all said and done, in a couple of decades, we'll look back and see what he's been able to do for a lot of people.
Oh, right
once I'm gone and other people coming through, but his quality his location, at his affordability, it's unlike anywhere else. You go to New York, Chicago, Houston, Florida, LA, Atlanta, any studio where they're putting out this type of quality, you're paying more than double every single place I've ever been to.
Since its opening, Penumbra has been instrumental in developing the careers of local artists, including Dylan Raw. The neighborhood studio is a prime example of the famous movie line, "If you build it, they will come."